everyone. What I want to do today is to help you get a better understanding of how AI is impacting the business world and how you can use AI to build better teams. Let me start by addressing the elephant in the room. We are all familiar with the concept of artificial intelligence taking over mankind. The moment you hear term AI, your mind automatically races to Terminator, Matrix, or iRobot. Now, I don't know what Hollywood has against AI, but I can assure you making machine more intelligent is not a modern day version of Frankenstein's monster. There is much more to this story, and that's what I am here to discuss with you today. This is going to be our roadmap for today's webinar. I have broken it into 6 different modules to help you understand the role AI plays and will be playing in building businesses and managing teams. I am the CEO of a recruiting firm for the past 23 years. As I'm talking to you, my role is changing and evolving. Despite everything I know and the years of experience I have, I'm aware that I am replaceable. And guess what? So are you. The industry is changing, and the plain truth is that if we have to be ready to change or step aside. Now, let's look at some of the stats from McKinsey. 5% of the jobs in richer countries are entirely automatable, and 14% are highly automatable. Well, that may sound like a small fraction, but by 2030, worldwide, 375 million to 700 million jobs would be made redundant by robots. That being said, such change isn't necessarily a disaster for the economy. While some jobs are taken over by machines, new ones are going to be created for humans. To give you a functional example, if a machine replaces you, you may become its subject matter expert or be the troubleshooter for it when it glitches or shuts down. And this also is guaranteed to happen. The World Economic Forum estimates that by 2026, 12.4 million new jobs will be created in the United States alone. Some of them will be directly related to developing, building, and maintaining robots, but vast majority of them will be indirect result of AI revolution. For instance, once robots have automated all the repetitive tasks, the humans can focus on the area that requires personal touch, like creative ideation, strategy, or customer service. Before we get into the details, let's take a look at the current scenario and the challenges business leaders face when building teams today. I personally work with several Fortune 100 companies, and I see their challenges on a daily basis when they are building teams. Let's look at some of the challenges leaders and employees face on a daily basis. Leaders have to make sure everything is in order across different teams in the company. They have to manage different department heads and see that the clients are happy and put out daily fires. The managers have to constantly monitor employees, keep track of their progress to ensure that they meet their daily, monthly, and annual targets. Recruiters and managers have to manually skim through hundreds of resumes a day, shortlist them, schedule them for interviews, and meet candidates face-to-face. Before pandemic, now video interviews. But there are hours of interview time that is dedicated. In some cases, entire panels are needed to make the final decision. So cumulatively, when you think about it, hundreds of hours will have to be invested in finalizing the candidate. Once the candidates are selected, onboarding, training comes into picture, which not only consumes time and energy, but it also requires investment. Leaders, on the other hand, have to constantly upskill their existing employees to make sure that they are on top of their game and to reduce turnover. Even after all this effort, there is a chance that the best employees might leave, or promising candidates don't perform up to the expected standards or fit the team, in which case this entire exercise starts all over again. And this is mentally and physically exhausting, not just for the leaders, but the current employees. I want to talk about another challenge that comes into play on a daily basis, and most of the time unconsciously, is the bias. As a leader, I consider it to be my highest priority to ensure that my employees are happy. They invest more than 8 hours a day 5 days a week in my organization for my organization. After all, then it's my priority to make sure they are doing well so that they can grow and the company can grow with them. But I have seen that this may not be the case at every organization. Many companies display bias at various stages of recruiting process. Maybe the resume is rejected because the recruiter didn't like somebody's LinkedIn profile picture, or recruiter feels that the employee's family life may interfere with her ability to perform at work. I have seen at times certain employees are not considered management material because of their special needs or age, or even sometimes professional background. The trickiest part about this bias is that many leaders and managers may not even realize that this bias is deep rooted in their company processes and even their behaviors. Now, this is something leaders need to address before they start losing top talent. This is the instance where machine that isn't humanly flawed can truly make a difference. The third challenge that comes into play is dealing with human resources. Handling 10 human beings who can think, react, and feel is 100 times more difficult than dealing with 100 machines. There is no success formula or shortcuts here. It's always been a trial and an error process. Even after more than 2 decades of running a company, I am constantly learning more about team management. It's not just about having the capital to invest in resources or making profit. You need to be fortunate to find smart, like-minded employees who share your vision and are willing to work towards it as a team. Sometimes all it takes is a single bad employee or a biased manager to pull the whole team down. This will always be the case as long as teams are made up of humans.